Thought it would be very interesting to have a look at these two signs. Ruled by Jupiter, we have Sagittarius. Ruled by Uranus, we have Aquarius. Two positive signs, very outgoing, very independent spirits. How do they get on together? Well, if you were about in the 80s or you enjoy 80s music, you may remember a song by Men at Work called Land Down Under, and it starts travelling in a fried out combi on a hippie trail, head full of zombie. Well, that's exactly these two. I can imagine them as hippies. They're travelling in that fried out zombie across Australia, or maybe they're backpacking around the world. That is the free-spirited attitude that both these signs have. They're going to be immediately attracted to one another. They're both people who love culture, they love meeting other people, they love getting out there and doing it. They enjoy having a wide circle of friends and interacting with people from vastly different cultures, ethnic groups, language groups. This inspires them. This is a progressive, liberal, forward-looking couple, and those two things mean it's exciting for them to be together, and they will enjoy doing adventurous things together, whether that means going around the world or being adventurous in the spheres of politics, arts, or sciences. Now what you have is Sagittarius are often seen as quite either religious or philosophical. Aquarians are often seen as the atheists, but what brings them both together is both signs are looking for meaning, whether they're looking for that meaning via religion or, in Aquarius's case, via science. They definitely want to know more. It's not enough for these two signs to skim on the surface of life. They like analysing life, analysing people. They like seeing trends and patterns and trying to work out what's going on. And that's why intellectually these two are always bouncing ideas off each other. Sometimes they are going to burn each other out because they are so competitive intellectually. They're always trying to kind of outdo each other. One wants to know more. They want to out-debate, out-argue each other. They can sit up all night debating and talking or challenging each other in a physical or sporting sense as well. So as a couple, they'll definitely push each other on, and through each other they're going to meet even more people, connect with different groups and expand their horizons together, which is all very, very exciting. So what are the problems with these two? Well, I feel that it's like when you have a cake. Unless you have egg, there's nothing really to glue the cake together and you end up with a bit of a mess. And with these two, I just feel there's no egg. They're both very future orientated, but sometimes they're looking in different directions. One sees the future there, another sees the future in a different direction. They also have incredibly high expectations. They expect the earth to move every time. And they can both be guilty of always thinking the grass is maybe greener on the other side, which means that as they progress forward as a couple, they're not looking inward at the relationship to how to make the relationship more solid. They may be looking outward and thinking, gee, I don't know, this is great, but things could be even better somewhere else. And that's when they start to drift apart. They're not a couple that are going to live in each other's pockets. They're not going to be controlling or possessive of each other. But then what really is going to cause them to come back together to the home, to create and to settle down? Aquarians do get to the stage as well where they want to settle down. I mean, the Sagittarius makes them laugh and that's great, but Aquarians have a serious side, and sometimes the Sagittarian flippancy about life gets them down and they think, come on, you know, are we going to grow up at some stage? That becomes a problem. Also with these signs, I can give you an example of one particular combination. Jennifer Aniston, Aquarius, and Brad Pitt, Sagittarius. Now they didn't last very long, did they? Of course, it was all very exciting and glamorous when they got together, and I remember the wedding well, and Jennifer's stunning dress. But it just didn't last. It fell apart. There was no glue. So I think this relationship between these two, it works well for couples who are still young and have absolutely no responsibilities and aren't tied down to children yet. It also works well for older couples who have maybe had their families, their children are growing up and they're looking for something that's a little bit flexible, not too tying down, but where they can travel together, broaden their horizons and kind of sow wild oats and relive their youth. That's when it works very well. And it also works well for same-sex couples, those of them who do not have aspirations of raising a family or following those particular routes. So it works very well for those, but in in terms of settling down, long-term commitment, there's a problem. And the other problem with these two is honesty is a lonely word in this relationship. Now, I don't mean to say that either sign is dishonest, but I think their interpretations of what honesty means, or what level of disclosure or honesty there needs to be in a relationship, is kind of different. So what one sees as being totally honest and above front, the other one seems as, no, that's too intrusive, I don't need to tell you all that. And that's where it all begins to break down. So plenty of positive to say, and as friends, this certainly works well. For a long-term relationship, there'd have to be a lot more earth signs, a lot of Saturn mixed into both of them to make it work. There you go. Thanks, guys.